Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Let's look at some hard rock and heavy metal. Man, this first one, I still can't believe I found this at a local shop. So one of the local shops here in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, closed down a couple years ago. They were at the Battery, which is the area around the Atlanta Braves Stadium. And the prices went up and a whole bunch of drama unfolded and they were forced out. Basically, they got their lease before the Braves won the World Series and property values had gone down. Then the Braves won the World Series and all the prices shot through the roof. So the area was looking for ways to get them out because they had signed a deal that benefited them. And something small happened. They kicked the record store out and they disappeared for 2 years, 2.5 years. We thought they were gone. And a couple months ago, out of nowhere, they opened up at a new location. And I went in there 3 or 4 days later, and one of the guys remembered I was a metal guy. So as soon as I walked in, he's like, "Hey, I got some cool stuff for you to look at." And the very first thing in that pile was this Demon Sweat Live from Danzig. I knew that this exists. This is the only way officially that it's been pressed to vinyl. I don't even know if there's an unofficial version of this, but it's picture disc, which I'm not generally a fan of. But man, I've always loved this EP. I've always wanted to have this copy of it, and to find it for the price I found it for, I was shocked. You just don't see OG Danzigs anymore, and when you see them, the prices have just skyrocketed. I really kicked myself. You know, when I first got back into collecting in 2012, 2013, you could still buy those, like really nice copies of the originals for, you know, $60 and at the price that was pretty pricey for a record, and I didn't do it. Now that they're $300-400 when you see them, I'm just kicking myself because I used to see them somewhat regularly back then. So now the only thing I have is originals of, or the albums after, starting with volume 4 and after, 1, 2, and How the Gods Kill. I've just got the bootlegs of, so cool to find that though and add that to the collection. And actually, I might have it right here. That same day, is that it? No. Hang on, see if I can find it. Of course not. I know it's right there. It's gonna drive me nuts. Here it is. That same day, I also picked up this, which is very cool as well. An OG pressing of the Dirty Black Summer. I guess it's the EP. It's 3 songs, but it's got When Death Had No Name, Bodies, and Dirty Black Summer. So that was cool to add to the collection too. And I got this one for really cheap. So next up, I was really happy when this got pressed to vinyl. This came out in the 90s. And I'll be talking about the band that this guy's from in a later video because I saw them live and got to hang out with the band. But this is Victor Griffin, who was the longtime guitar player and one of the principal songwriters for Pentagram. He did this album Late for an Early Grave in the 90s. It was only on CD for the longest time, and Splattered Records just recently did it to vinyl. This has always been a favorite of mine. I've always really dug. Actually, Trog. What's Trog record label? Stone. Oh man. I can't remember Trog's record label's name. But he released it on CD. Look on Discogs. Looked up Victor Griffin. He released it on CD a few years ago, and he was doing. Man, I can picture the label and everything. I don't know why it's not coming out. But he released this did a reissue on CD a couple years ago, and He did a bunch of signed copies with guitar picks, which was cool. He does a really killer cover of Pusher Man and Iron Horse from Motorhead on here. That's fantastic. Really killer, though. Again, really happy to have this on vinyl. Next up, man, I found this at a Half Price Books of all places. This is the first EP from Heavy Load in Sweden. This is an OG Swedish pressing of Metal Conquest. I said first press. This one might be a second pressing. They did 2 pressings the same year, and I can't remember off the top of my head. They both had slightly different things up in the corner here, but this might have been a second. Regardless, this doesn't pop up much, and it really doesn't pop up in a place like Half Price Books, which this was the only metal album, used metal album. The rest was like new, modern Metallica pressings and stuff. This was the only used metal album in the entire store, and it happened to be Heavy Load, an original Swedish pressing of all things. So I had to grab it. Next up, did I show the Alice Cooper? I think I showed the Alice Cooper in one of the previous videos I did. I also ran across this. I think this is one of the best, greatest hits of all time. I still pull this out regularly, my original pressing, but I ran across this white label promo and I wasn't going to pass it up. So Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits, just a 10-star album. I usually don't hype up the greatest hits stuff. This is one you should have in your collection, though. Next up, a couple. Nope, just the one. Orgasmatron. I've had a reissue of this for 10, 15 years, and ran across one. The record's really clean anyway, but a really nice OG pressing for like $15. So I wasn't gonna pass that up. You don't see the Motorhead OGs that often. There's so many reissues out there, and some of them are hard to tell. There's been a couple that I thought I was buying an original. It was thin, it was GVR, and it turned out that it was a later reissue. So, next up, for all you guys that are into Doom, High Desert, that sound, 70s, Psych, Black Rainbows are one of the bands that's really been doing it for me lately. This is their album from a couple years ago called Holy Moon. This one might have been an EP too. I can't remember. Let's see. It's 6 songs. It's hard to tell with some of these bands if it's an EP or not, especially with the doomy side of things, where some bands will have one song across, or one song on each side, one song across 2 albums. Sleep, Dope Smoker, I think, is one song across 3 albums, if I remember correctly. But check out Black Rainbows. Really killer band. They're on Heavy Psych Sounds. Heavy Psych Sounds is one of those labels. If you like doom metal, if you like desert rock, any of that stuff, Heavy Psych is one of those labels that's putting out some really killer stuff. I don't think I've really heard or picked up anything off of that label that I wasn't really into. But Black Rainbows, this was a few years ago. This one's 2013. They have one that just came out this year, so they're still around. Next up, I've talked about this before. Jolly Roger has been doing a great job releasing some of the really rare Gravedigger stuff, pressing stuff that nobody else is getting licenses for, pressing stuff that's never been pressed to vinyl. And that's what's going on with this first one. This first one is the Prey EP from Gravedigger. You can still get this. I think I got it for, is it Heavy Metal Museum on eBay? Like $25 for each of these. Their artwork is not always the best because they blow it up. These actually both look really good. Sometimes the scan that they blow up isn't great. But they always sound fantastic. And actually, there's a couple of Gravediggers that I have original pressings of, and the Jolly Rogers Records pressings sound better. So take that for what it is. But man, some of these EPs that they've been pressing, it's awesome to finally have these on vinyl. And then they've been doing the Clans albums, which the Clan albums are the best albums from Gravedigger other than their early stuff. I like everything that Gravedigger's done. They're one of the few bands that has stuck the power metal route, and they're still putting out killer stuff. But their Clan albums are the best, and this is The Clan Will Rise Again. Again, an original pressing of this you're going to pay well over $100 for, so it's really nice to be able to find it for under $30, and a fantastic album, one you should definitely have in the collection. Next up, another OG that I recently picked up. Actually, I just picked this one up a few days ago at one of my local stores. I was digging through, wasn't really finding nothing, and was about to walk out, and the owner pointed out, hey, did you see that Annihilator on the back wall? And I hadn't seen it. And it's a really nice OG pressing, gold stamp promo of one of the great Canadian thrash albums, Alice in Hell. I love Annihilator. I even like the stuff they're still putting out, but their first two albums are both 10-star, and it's really cool to have an original pressing. This is another one that I had an MOV pressing of, and the MOV sounds really good, but man, glad to finally have an OG of this one. Next up, this is one that I missed last year. Everybody was talking about how great it was. It made the top 3 or 4 of pretty much every metalhead's ranking last year, and somehow I just missed it. And Scott Waters sent me a message that it was online for like $15 on Amazon, so I ordered it right away. Definitely one of the best album covers of the last couple years. I love the album art on this, and it's just a fantastic album. Suicidal Angels, Profane Prayer, man, just killer album cover. Pretty much straight up thrash. I first heard them in their early days when they were more of a death metal band. They've gone more the thrash route the last couple albums, and this album really is just it really is a 10-star album. Fantastic. If you're a thrash guy or a thrash gal, definitely grab this record while you still can. It's fantastic. Next up, speaking of the doom metal and really the desert rock sound, this band is a band I've always known about, but I had never heard this record before. This is from 1974, and a lot of what we're hearing from the desert bands now, I feel like they kind of got their sound from this record. And this record doesn't even sound like the other 2 records from the band. All 3 records from this band sound completely different, so I'm glad to have this, and I've been playing this quite a bit. But this is Only Want You for Your Body from Buffalo. Buffalo is just one of those super underrated 70s hard and heavy bands that everybody should know. They're right up there, or they should be right up there with Uriah Heep and Black Sabbath and the other bands of that ilk. Just fantastic albums, all 3 of them. Again, they've all 3 got a little bit different sound, but man, this one really blew me away. I was listening to a lot of Pentagram because I was going to go see them, and then I put this on, and a lot of what I was hearing from Pentagram I was hearing in here, and I thought it was a really cool seeing where I know Pentagram was around at this same time, but Pentagram wasn't playing. The Pentagram from that era is not as good as the stuff that they're playing now, and I'll talk about that in another video. But man, this Buffalo, fan-freaking-tastic. This is the Akarma repress. Even these are starting to go up in price, but keep an eye on Rockadrome. They pop up on there every once in a while for a good price, but you really need this in your collection. I recommend all 3 records, but the second and third specifically. Next up, another hard rock and hard rock from the 70s. Really dig this one as well. I think I first heard this on Patrick's stream. I had seen the record before over the years, but had never grabbed it. I can't remember who's in the band. Is it Dick Wagner? I I can't remember. I believe Dick Wagner's in here. But that said, Ursa Major, promo copy, same store that just opened up, had this and actually the next one too. Patrick had been playing it quite a bit on the stream that I'm on Friday and Sunday night. Somebody turned him onto it, and he in turn turned me onto it. So, and then they also had a super clean OG of Sir Lord Baltimore, killer 70s blues, heavy blues, another one that should be in everybody's collection. I had one of the reissues that's been floating around for years. It's nice to have a really nice original pressing. Next up, I've shown this before when I did my record store day video, but this is one of the Motorheads. This is volume 6, live in Berlin. I love the stuff from the 90s. This is 92. Don't get me wrong, I love the first 4 Motorhead albums. There's something about this stuff in the 90s though. I think his writing was better. I think his voice, he was singing, sounds better. And I've always loved that 90s era of Motorhead. And it's really cool to hear some of those songs on the live set that were only there for a short period of time, and then they disappear for the classics again. So I've really been digging this series. I keep saying I'm not going to buy the next one because I've already got, again, 6 of them, not including all the other bootlegs of Motorhead that I have. But they keep putting out killer stuff. So next up, man, this album was a total disappointment to me. I was really looking forward to this. Their last album was fantastic. It was a favorite of mine. I played it nonstop. This album's a complete disappointment. And this is, what's it even called? Duel from Ginger. I think it's completely mediocre. I've given it a couple spins. That last album they did was perfect, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is a really good album. Their last album was just so good, it's kind of turned me off onto this one. I don't know. I'll give it another spin, but honestly, I was pretty disappointed with this one. Tell me what you guys think. And then last but not least, I've been rounding out the Municipal Waste collection. I've got all the LPs. I've been trying to find the EPs and the singles. And a couple days ago, I ran across The Last Rager, which is their EP from 2019. So really glad to add this to the collection. That's it, guys. So I hope everybody's doing good. I will see you soon. Take care, VC.